Timeless voices of the Eternal Church.
John Bunyan, England, August 31st, 1688. John Bunyan was born in 1628 to Thomas Bunyan and Margaret Bentley in Bedfordshire in southern England. He was the son of a ticker. At age 16, John joined the army. One day, his unit was called to besiege Leicestershire. Just as he was ready to go, another soldier asked to go in his place. While on guard duty, his comrade was shot in the head and died. John later wrote about this event and other times when God spared his life, saying, "Here were judgments and mercy, but neither of them did awaken my soul to righteousness. Wherefore I sinned still, and grew more and more rebellious against God, and careless of mine own salvation." After John married, his Puritan wife inspired within him a powerful religious conversion. This led to his becoming a lay preacher in the Nonconformist congregation of Bedford. His style was powerful and direct, and he became a favorite preacher in the surrounding towns. After giving birth to 4 children, John's wife died in about 1658. John was very lonely and needed help raising his small children. Mary, the oldest, was only 8 years old and blind. Before long, John remarried. Elizabeth was a loving wife and mother and bore 2 more children. During John's youth, civil war had torn England. King Charles I was killed, and his son Charles II was driven out of the country. Oliver Cromwell then took over the government. He ruled well, but when he died, the same year John's first wife died, Charles II was brought back and made king. When the kings were in power, the official Church of England controlled most religious life and supported the king. But when Oliver Cromwell ruled, he encouraged the independent churches, Puritan, Baptist, Presbyterian, and Quaker. Naturally, when King Charles II returned to power, he wanted to get rid of these independent churches, fearing that they might be disloyal to him. But it was in these independent churches that John Bunyan preached. When he was told to stop, he refused to obey the king's law. He said he had to obey God. So, he was thrown into prison, the specific reason being he had been preaching without a license. Of course, being a nonconformist, John could not get a license, even though he had pastored a church for several years. The prison to which John was sent in 1661 was just down the street from the Bunyan home, and every day his blind daughter Mary brought him a jug of soup. Bunyan spent nearly 12 years there, but he did not waste his time. He wrote many articles and books. The most well-known book is Pilgrim's Progress, an imaginary story of a young man's travel towards heaven. John was released from prison in 1672. The formal pardon was dated September 13, and returned to his life as a pastor. He died in London in 1688 from pneumonia, caught after riding far out of his way through a chilling rainstorm to help settle a quarrel between a father and son.
Reading from the complete book of Christian heroes, over 200 stories of courageous people who suffered for Jesus, compiled by Dave and Neta Jackson. This is the Eternal Church of Jesus Christ, the record.